Hi, I'm Karni Zor, and together we are going to look at this week's skies and the celestial opportunities that are opening for us this time. So, this week the Sun is in the realm of exchange, together with Mercury and Mars. What this actually means is that when you look at the Sun during daytime, you should know that we can't see them, but both planets, Mercury and Mars, are exactly behind the Sun in alignment to it. Mercury is the planet of thinking, and Mars is the planet of doing, of action, of the ability to manifest our thoughts. So when Mercury and Mars are accompanying the Sun, which is our core being, at this time, this means that most of our parts are there together to enable us to actually manifest that which we plan and think about. And this is very important because this is a time of change. In the skies these days, people, one can actually see what astrologers are calling a square. And this means that if you put planet Earth here in the middle, okay, and you have the Sun over here, exactly in the opposite side of planet Earth. Yes, if you see the Sun rising in the east, you should know that in the west, to the distant, you can't see it with your eyes, but planet Pluto, dwarf planet Pluto, is there. And Pluto, although dwarf, is actually very, very mighty. Pluto, named after Hades or Pluto, the mythological god of the underworld, talks about change, the absolute metamorphosis and change that is possible for us these days. So this is definitely a time of change. But the interesting thing is that our thoughts, Mercury, and our activity, Mars, are supporting this change, enabling things to actually really manifest themselves and happen. Now, if we'll take a closer look at what the position of this beautiful alignment tell us, we will see that the realms of exchange, which is also constellation Gemini, and not what usually astrologers will say that the Sun now is in Cancer. This is not so. The Sun in these days is in alignment with the constellation of Gemini, and Pluto is actually in alignment with the constellation of Sagittarius, which I prefer to call the realm of flexibility. So these two very interesting realms are actually marking the two Now, these two very interesting astrological realms, astrological places in the skies, exchange and flexibility, are actually marking the location through which the Milky Way passes through. Well, the Milky Way is a huge subject to talk about, and of course all the stars that we see with our naked eyes are of the Milky Way, but in that there is a band, a stripe of a condensity of stars, which the ancient ones recognized as the Milky Way, which now we know we are part of. And this band runs from one realm, from exchange to flexibility. So actually these days the Sun just touches one part of the Milky Way, its distant part, and Pluto is closer to the center of the galaxy, also in the realm of a flexibility, which marks the other end of this stripe. So we have a circle of all the constellations and the stripe of the Milky Way, which goes from the realm of exchange to the realm of flexibility, or from constellation Gemini to constellation Sagittarius. Now this, of course, is very, very huge. It talks about the sort of change that is possible these days, and this adds up to many signs that we're having from the skies lately. Also, with the alignment of Saturn and the center of the Milky Way, not far from Pluto, which we talked about last time and still continues. And this talks about the sort of change which is not only personal. It's not just about changing things for our own good, for our own benefit. It's actually changing things for the higher good, changing things so our personal vocation actually fits God's reasons and the ability to help the planet, the universe, humankind in a higher level. So this is a time of sorting out what fits in our lives and what doesn't anymore. This is definitely a time of change, and this is a time when change is really possible with proper planning, proper thinking, proper communication via Mercury, which is in conjunction to the Sun, and with the ability to actually manifest the change and do what we want to do in order to make our lives better aligned with a higher purpose. So this is what the skies offer us this week. What shall we do with that?